Hi, welcome back to day 5 of the 30-day Hypnosis Biz Funnel Build Challenge. I'm Shane Fossard. So for those of you who are new here, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm building a brand new multiple six-figure hypnosis ecosystem from scratch in just 30 days. I'm going to be doing it in public, or I'm going to end up with egg on my face. So if you don't know who I am, I've been involved in the hypnosis industry for roughly about 15 years. And so I started off as a hypnotherapist, and then I became a hypnotherapy trainer, and then almost like a business coach for other hypnotherapists. So before we dive into today's work, let me do a quick recap. Now, if you haven't seen the previous day's videos, here's the price of admission that we've already paid to get here. Day 1 was all about the 6M protocol, which is about getting our mindset, our mission, our market aligned so we don't self-sabotage. So day 2 was then doing deep work. And so we mined our existing assets and transcribed them, and then used AI to create master knowledge files. Now, day 3 was about polishing that raw information, almost like turning the coal into a diamond. And so we built our signature framework. We designed a multi-tier value ladder, and then mapped out a complete financial roadmap to confirm that the business model actually works, assuming that our assumptions are correct. And then in day 4, what we did is we went behind the scenes to ethically spy on the competition using Facebook Ads Library. And so we then reverse engineered what's working, and then used AI to help generate some high converting ad creatives and templates much faster. And so now that we're up to this point, day 5 is about pulling apart some competitors' landing pages, finding out what works, what doesn't work, and then looking at what we can do before we start building our own to make sure we've got all the right ingredients in place. Now, as always, I'm going to share the prompts and workflows so you can follow along as well. But before I get into it, I also want to encourage healthy debate, healthy discussion, and even healthy conflict. I don't pretend to have all the answers, and I don't pretend to have the best approach. I do know that a lot of what I'm sharing is based on what's worked for me and my clients in the past, but I'm always open to learning more. And as I say to my 6-year-old daughter, when I make a mistake, I celebrate, because learning that it was a mistake just made me a little bit smarter. So feel free to question or challenge or disagree with anything I do or say, as long as you're doing it in good faith. And I'll always try to provide evidence that backs up my opinion. And ultimately, I only believe in what I believe by 51%, so that I'm open to being wrong and learning a new and better way. Okay, now I'm going to hope that you'll also be just as open-minded as well. So let's get into day 5 now. Okay, so the first thing I've done is using the digital whiteboard, looking at some of the competitors. What I did do is spend a bit more time. If you watch day 4, I was looking at some of the competitors quite fast. So I'll show you over here. We're having a look at some of these competitors, and I didn't feel like they were good representations of what I was really looking for. Some were, like, Dan's was great, and Recipe, it was okay, but I'm really looking for these micro-tier offers. This is a low ticket offer. So I spent a bit more time doing some research and found these that are all low or micro ticket offers. So you can see this one here, $1. This one here, $5. Now, they're not anything to do with hypnosis. This is a coaching business. This is launching and scaling framework. But I really want to follow some of the structure, or at least see what their structure is. Now, Dan's doesn't have a price out on it, as you'll see. So I've kind of kept these in play here. So what I've got is I've got the URLs that I can click on. I've taken a screenshot of their ads that showed up. Now, these are ads that showed up for me on my timeline, on my profile. So I can see just how successful this is, with some assumptions, of course. 662 people have liked it, 16 comments, 3 shares. So I'm going to suggest it probably is profitable. And again, this is not really about the ads, but let's say it starts to the ads. That's how it gets on your radar. And so what I then did is, let's do a landing page audit prompt. So I went and clicked on here, copied this, went to ChatGPT, and we'll start up a new prompt, paste it in. What I'll put at the start is we're going to paste in the URL here. So let's go and grab one of the URLs I haven't done yet. And so this is this one here. So we click into this, open it up. I grab this, I go back. Okay, so I grab the URL, go back here, I paste it in, and hit go. And they're going to wait a few seconds for it to run through all of that. Now, what is it doing here? So what it's doing is it's pulling out three main things. So it's pulling out the competitor's landing page structure. What's the high level structure? So you can see this one here, header and navigation, hero section, offer summary box, core benefits. So really high level to begin with. And this one is similar, but a little bit more detail. It's pulled out. And then what's the high impact conversion techniques? So within this landing page, what are the things that make it, so successful? At least in theory. Of course, we don't know whether it is financially successful or not. There's a few assumptions we can make to assume that it is. And then what's missing? So whilst, that might be something we think is going to work, what is missing from that? So what would someone potentially add to that page to make sure it's going to be, even better? So I've already done this with competitor 1. I've done this with competitor 2. And so I want to show you competitor 3 doing that live. So I'm just going to take a copy of this here and we'll paste it over here. Let's go back here and see, has it finished? All right, so we've got some detail here. So what we're going to do is grab each of these lists one at a time. So now we can verify that it's said that. So top bar, question, email link, big promise headline, supporting sub-headline, agency proof. Is that what we're seeing here? Yep, so we've got that question for the support, got the headline. What else have we got in here? Big news hook. So there's a big news. There you go, big news is the hook there. So we know definitely it's looked at it all. We can grab this. Let's grab this content here. Go back over here. And we paste it in. Now, sometimes it'll go a little bit over the first one. So we'll just bring that back. Get rid of this extra space. We don't need that. Just back in there. And just move everything else down. And then we can move that back. There we go. Now we'll do the same thing. We'll say, just copy this. Paste it in. It says, give me the second list in a markdown format. Now, sometimes if it's too detailed, I'll ask it to be more concise, but this one's probably not too bad. Might a little bit overkill. Let's see what we can say. Make the second list more concise. So if you're a little bit overwhelmed with the volume of detail it's giving you, you can always just ask it to be more concise, and then we don't want to get too overwhelmed with detail just yet. So let's grab all of this. I'll just hit that copy button. I'll go back to here, paste it in. There we go. Now again, we'll just move that to the side because the one below it we can't see yet. Move this up. And then we'll do the same thing. So let's do give me a list. Give me the third list. Give me the third. Give me the third list in a markdown format. And then what we'll be able to quickly see is what are the different structures. And then you can always kind of, again, see what's missing from this and whether you agree to it, whether you agree with it or not. So, for example, what was missing in the first one is there was no pricing displayed on the page. So as you had to sign up in order to find out what the price was. So if we go have a look at this, go here. At no point is there a price. So secure your spot. You have to enter your details to go to that next step. So, that could be reducing conversion rate. And that's what this is suggesting is, what is there? Is there going to be maybe some price shock that could happen? Now, admittedly, what is probably working well is it's at least converting a lead, but you don't know whether that person's going to be financially qualified or not, as opposed to something like this, when you clicked on this. So this is clicking from an ad that already said it was it $5 or $7, whatever it was. So click here. What was it again? It was $5. So it already financially qualifies me if I click on that. So it's just pros and cons for how you structure your marketing. But let's go back over here. Let's grab this list. copy, over here, paste it in. And so what I like to do is just throw some spacing in there. It just makes it a little bit easier for me to read. So if I go in here, like this, throw some spacing in there. And so now what we have done is ended up with 3 competitors' landing pages and some analysis performed on that. So again, before we start building our own landing page and just assuming that there's only one style landing page and we'll just do this, or we'll just use a template, or you go to Wix or you go to wherever else and you're just using something that's templated, what we can then do is use AI to go, hey, AI, here are 3 different structures. Here's what's missing from them. Here's what works well for them. Based on all of that, can you help me develop a structure for my website next based on my offer? And so I'll show you that in the next step. Okay, so the next step, what we're going to do is put all that information into one document and then pass it through to AI. All right, so now we're just going to copy and paste all that across. So let's grab that there. Close these down. We don't need these open now. Here. All right, so just do paste without formatting. There we go. Grab this one. Paste without formatting. Paste. Okay, so now what I've done is just pause the camera to fill it all in. So I haven't really focused too much on the styling, but I've got all the information into this one document that I've called the Combined Competitor Landing Page Analysis. So we have all the landing page structures together, all the high impact techniques together, and what's missing. The next step here is we're then going to use this landing page template prompt. So you copy this, set up a new chat, paste it in, and what we're going to do is add in our file. So I've got a Google document here, so I'm just going to link that in. Okay, here, go to my Google Drive in my competitors folder. There it is there. Load it in, wait for it to load up. It's a bit of an error coming through here. I noticed this before when I was just running this test. It still seems to work though. Now it's doing a lot, so it's going to take a little bit of time to go through this process. So I started this early as well. Here's one I prepared earlier, so to speak. So did the same thing, got the file here. I ran the same prompt. So what it's doing, it's going to produce 4 things. An ideal landing page template. It's then going to produce the best of Persuasion Stack. It's then going to create a build checklist, and then a plug and play skeleton sort of placeholder approach. So that's what we're ultimately aiming for here based on the analysis conducted over these 3 different competitors in their landing page now. So we've got a landing page template here, Persuasion Stack, and so now it's just a case of going back in and grabbing the details. So this would be, now it's still actually running, doing its thing. Okay, so now it has finished. So the first thing we'll do is take a screenshot, take a copy, and I'm going to set it up as a new file in my Google Drive. So I can just do Markdown. It's a bit easier to read. It's got all the information in there. So let's just call this Ideal Landing Page Blueprint. We'll go with that. And then what I want to do is take some of the information out and paste it into this sort of process. I can kind of see it side by side instead of just being a linear project like this. Okay, so now that it's finished, let's copy that and I'll paste it in. And we should have much cleaner text. There we go. Great. And then we just run the next one as well. So just doing that, and then that sets us up for completing day 5, where we've now got an idea as to what is going to be our ideal landing page. what are the ingredients that are going to go into it. And then day 6, we're now going to start to build all of this together and start to give it some shape. So I want to thank you so much for watching this video. And if you've liked this, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And I'm going to, again, challenge you to take on a 2-minute challenge, which is just leave a comment and write down one thing that stood out to you from today's video that you're taking away and that you can take immediate action on. I look forward to seeing you in day 6 tomorrow.